I ask for the truth on behalf of Carol Desi Dalpe-Soubel concerning relationship issues. In this particular case, is there a positive relationship coming soon? Any potential anything healthy next time round? And what's the truth concerning all this? We ask for guidance and insight in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And Carol just asked, didn't you, Carol, if you were going to get somebody to, or meet somebody to grow old with. I couldn't think of anything worse personally, but that's my opinion. Can't beat solitude, I'm afraid. But solitary witches go around doing their solitary witchy things, I suppose. But of course some people are insecure and do tend to feel as though they need others for some apparent reason. So we'll see what this energy is that's surrounding you right now. And after so many unhealthy experiences, or at least one, why one would want another one, or one would want to put oneself in harm's way, I don't know, and take that risk. But that's what some people are, isn't it? Aren't you, Carol? Let's see though what has been going on just recently, and let us see what energy's been vibrating to trigger all this. The energy of the king, a man of authority, a member of the royal court, noticed there. The king, it's got like an Egyptian sort of look to it, hasn't it, if you just take a look at that there. He's got that sort of thing going on. I don't know what this is about just recently, what's been going on just recently in your life, but certainly that's the recent past. The present and the future will just pop there, and then we'll deal them just after this one. But I was sort of eager to get to see that one for some reason, I don't know why. The king, of course, is, yes, a man of authority, a man who has been in your life, maybe a wealthy individual, somebody, yes, who has had to use diplomacy to get what he wants, but not naturally when it comes to relationships may have proven not to have been as diplomatic. When taking liberties with those he knows too much, I suppose. Nevertheless, he's very much part of your life, or has been part of your life, and he still is, and I somehow feel as though he still is, in the sense, the experience that you've had with him either is somebody you've been in with, or I'm thinking, is it somebody you were thinking of being in with? No. I got a sense as though he's the one you've had a bad experience with. Don't like him. He's looking back into the past as if he's got power over it. And he has got power over it, hasn't he, Carol? Because every time he'll say something, or any time he reminds you about something, he's doing it again to you. Any time you even think about what he's done, he's doing it again to you. Just the power of the mind, it's an amazing thing, isn't it? Well, that's basically what it is, and the more he does it, the more you allow him to do it by reminding yourself of it. I suppose you can't really forget to some degree. In this particular case, you can't. well, I've got a bad feeling about him. I don't know. I don't like him at all. But he has his face into the past as if he can use it against you. He's got power over you. His authority is based upon the past and what he can pull up and drag up from the mire, or whatever you want to call it. I want to pull the next card to see what is going on now. This will indicate what's vibrating now, maybe on how it's affecting you, or what you should do, or what does Spirit say about the now, which I suppose really is the most important part, isn't it? Because you can't define yourself by what you did then that he plays on. You can only define yourself by what you're doing now. And we'll just flip that card there just to see what its energy is. And as you can see, the energy of water, or as we'd say, the element of water. Water, of course, is to do with feelings and emotions. And right now, yes, one's emotions literally have been at a peak, haven't they? Noticed how the element of water has the water signs, the zodiac water signs there of Scorpio, Pisces and Gemini. Correction, Cancer. Sorry about that. We all have our faults. Sorry. Scorpio, the Scorpio, Pisces and Cancer. I don't know if that any of those three signs may hold some significance. I don't know if you're one of them, if he is, or I don't know. But either way, it's affected you emotionally right now, and there have been a lot of tears and a lot of, maybe I'm sensing that although they're tears of anger, I tend to have tears of anger when I'm not very happy about something and not too pleased neither. I tend to use that means of releasing it as well. I used to do, but certainly it is. There's nothing to be ashamed of anyway about that. But certainly your emotions have been at a peak, and maybe you've been thinking, surely, of course, as you've implied, there must be somebody better than this, somebody I can grow old with and end up dying in the arms of in a care home somewhere. I suppose from that sort of angle, I couldn't think of anything worse myself, but that's my opinion. It's not really there's no sort of psychic sense from that, it's just my opinion. But of course, I suppose we all, or most of us tend to long for a relationship that will last. I personally couldn't think of anything worse. I'm not a queer, I'm not an arse bandit, I'm not a wannabe or anything like that, you know. I'm not bisexual or anything like that. It just isn't the boat that I float in, I'm afraid. It just isn't my stroke of whatever difference. But some people are insecure and somehow feel as though they need it, maybe because they've had it before and think it could be better. I got this sort of sense as though you want it in regards to, you want another stab at it, so you can at least say, well, at least I succeeded this time. You don't want to be, in the sense as though you don't want to be thought of as a failure. I got a sense as though maybe your friends are sort of implying that you're the failure because your relationship didn't succeed. But when we bear in mind this man who's in your recent past who's been playing on the past and using it as a means of authority on you, to be used against you, maybe even to try and be diplomatic by saying, well, considering what's happened, I can be reasonable with you if... And you're thinking, yeah, pull the other one, it's got bells on. Of course, the pull the other one thing came from when they used to hang people. They used to pull on the leg to make sure they were dead. But just to make sure that they were really, really dead, they used to pull on the other leg as well. And that's what pull the other one means. If it had bells on, I don't know. That's probably something that came later on. I don't know. But full of we're a mine of useless information on here, I can assure you. But I suppose it's something you could raise in conversation to try and impress your friends. Just don't say I told you, otherwise you'll give the game away. But I suppose in a way that's what you're trying to avoid. Giving the game away. But what game is it you're trying to play here?
It's 9 hours.
Just struck 9 o'clock here, as you can tell, in the morning there, and all is well so far. With your emotions being at a peak right now, in the sense of with feelings being strong, and with the Scorpio Pisces Cancer thing going on there, that's... But nevertheless, in the background it's dark, isn't it? There's darkness in the background. What is that all about? What's that darkness? Is that the truth of what it really is? I want to pull the next card, which will imply the immediate future, or give some insight in, or maybe guidance into what potentially could happen. Of course, as you make different choices, because you always have a choice, you always have a free will, don't you? Of a choice, so you can have the freedom, literally, to change it. If this energy is a negative energy, it can be perceived as positive, strangely enough, because it can be warning, forewarned as forearmed. If positive, of course, it can beware of complacency. In this particular case, though, as we reveal and flip the card over nice and steadily, not to disturb its energy in any way, you have the energy of the satyr. And as you can see, the satyr is I suppose, where the word Satan derived from. Revelry and indulgence, the mythical half man, half goat that represents revelry and indulgence. The devil within, I suppose you could call it, couldn't you? In that sense, beware of the devil. This is a warning. Beware of the devil that will get you, which is the devil within. The 666, which is the human number. I got a sense as though you may end up turning to either some substance abuse, hopefully not. Well, it's not a strong substance anyway. Caffeine, or maybe probably alcohol. Is just, you probably do. I won't say use it, but you do certainly. You may turn to it, but just make sure you don't have too much of it. Too much of anything is bad for you anyway, anything in moderation, but this is an excess, something in excess, that's between now and this time next month, to just be watched out for. Just curtail on whatever you were thinking of doing, or even what you're doing, that will result in this. One can have strong feelings and decide to turn to drink and drown your sorrows, but does it drown you as well and kill you off? I suppose well, maybe in the literal sense, but hopefully not. because then you can post another post in Facebook and tell us all about it, and maybe we can try and work on something after this month has expired. But certainly beware that you won't be turning to that to drown your sorrows, because maybe, just maybe, you'll end up that fussy about who you get in with, you'll end up with nobody. That would be a shame if that is your desire, but maybe drowning your sorrows in other ways. I don't know if, I wouldn't say smoke or anything like that, but certainly I'll be filling up my pipe here, and I think I'm going to just indulge in a bit of black cherry, I think, and then we'll get back to doing some more readings a bit later. But for now, for your reading, of course, there, Carol, I hope that's helped in some way, just for the foreseeable future, that you have power to change and avoid. For now, these cards have spoken.